Our special guest today is Erica Messer. She is the founder of Woofie's Wish. I'm very honored to have you on the show, Erica, and we need to get started. Big question number one. Woofie? Who is Woofie? And I know, but you got to tell us.
Okay. So many people adopted animals over the pandemic, and I did. I was fortunate to find him because there wasn't a lot. So Wolfgang was actually a barn cat with eye herpes that no one really wanted and needed a lot of health. He had a lot of health issues. So I live in Munich, Germany, and we had gotten here 2 months before. So we got him in May. Anyway, so March 2020, we moved here and things shut down. I said, okay, I need a cat, need a companion. And that's Wolfgang. So he was this very needy kitten that as soon as he healed, became a Tasmanian devil inside the body of a cat. And that's Wolfgang.
Yeah. So, all right. So you're in Munich, you got Woofie, which is good if you're stuck in a shut lockdown like COVID. Then what happened?
Well, we became best friends and he was my COVID companion, as I'm sure many people can relate to. And he and I had just a very special bond. And since he's passed, I've learned about people calling these types of pets their soul animals. And I instantly related. And I thought, well, that's an interesting way to put it, but I totally get it. I really believe that he and I had an understanding and, he'd come plopping down the stairs to welcome me home, played fetch. I mean, he was just really special. So he died tragically and suddenly. And I felt like I'd lost my mind and I was really worried about my well-being in general. Am I going to get through this okay? And I didn't know the answer. It was actually really terrifying for that. And then I've got the trauma and the grief. So wasn't long after that when I learned that many people feel that acute pain and it's quite common, yet we don't talk about it. We don't acknowledge it and we don't validate it. And so my mom and I decided to team up and do something about that and provide the resources for people that I couldn't find when I needed it and was not prepared for, right? So I had to do a lot of searching. And that was
let's back up, but just a second. What happened and how old was Woofie? And do a shout out to your mom. And what kind of occupation were you in when this all happened?
Yeah, well, these are great questions. So, we are humans and we do dumb things. And my friend came from the States to visit and just had jet lag and totally spaced out. She left the bathroom window open, even though we made it clear and make it clear to any visitor. Leave the bathroom window shut. Do not open it. It's one of those weird things. So he, being Wolfgang, was like, "Oh, freedom! What's out there?" And he fell off the roof and died on the way to the emergency vet. And it was the worst day of my life.
I think if something like that happened to pet safety cat Casey, who is my BFF, my best feline friend, I don't even know. And I'm a writer. I'm a communicator. I don't think I could express the hurt. I would feel this hollowness. Is that what you felt?
Yeah, it was pretty indescribable. It was intense pain, shock, grief. Then I had the traumatic replay of the events because my brain really couldn't process the nightmare that became reality. And I thought, what happened to my life? My life was so good. Now, is it ruined forever? And who do I talk to about this? I don't know. I don't know any of these answers. And it was frankly terrifying. So I have a past history of addiction that I still treat. I have a mental illness that I treat just like, you have any disease. So there was a lot at risk for me to not be okay. And so compound all of these things together and it just was too much.
And your mom came in. Now, what's your mom's name? And
my mom's name is Bonnie. Yeah. We talk every day and have talked every day since the pandemic over FaceTime. And so when I shared with her what had happened, she cried too. She'd never met Wolfgang, but she met him through video. And she pretty much said to me right from the get-go, Erica, you were looking for those affirmation cards, for pet loss. I think you should write a deck. And I basically laughed at her face. It was like, number one, I don't want to. Number two, I don't know how. And number three, that sounds like a lot of work. And I don't,
I love your mom. I'm so glad she pushed you.
I know, it's amazing. So long story short, when I had gotten a professional counselor and they had told me that everything I was experiencing, and I say everything, was normal, the record scratched, everything stopped. And I said, Mom, you're right. Let's figure this out. Because I had been doing some self-care healing tips and, we just wanted to get the conversation started. So the deck that I wrote and she approved, she doesn't want to take any credit, but come on. They're just a starting point. They just get you to face your grief, to know that you can get through it. And then from that, we built out more resources.
Hey, everyone. We're speaking with Erica Messer. She is the founder of Wolfie's Wish. And she mentioned these cards. And if you do go to Wolfie's Wish, that's WOLFIESWISH.com, you can quickly sign up on an email and get downloaded a sampling of the cards. And with your permission, Erica, my favorite is the first one I saw. Can I read that out loud?
Please do.
It says, I loved my pet with all my heart. The amount of pain I feel is equal to the love I gave. As a writer, short is tight, tight is powerful, and you just said all that needed to say. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that gave me permission to hurt real, real bad. Because I don't know about other people, but I don't like feeling bad. And I want to stop immediately. Whether, I guess pain, emotional pain, we don't really want it. And yet pet grief isn't something you can turn off. There's no button for that. It's just there. And so this thought allowed me to just sit in that space and say, oh, this makes sense. I needed things from my brain to make sense of what was happening. So I ended up having to just really sit in my grief and figure out my way through it. And that's where a lot of these ideas came from. And then I found out they're not that unique. So writing a love letter, for example, many people have expressed that that's helpful. And I've seen it in other recommended, treatments, do we want to call it? Guides for pet loss grief. And I went, oh, okay, cool. So that is also available on my website for download. It's a cute paw prints template. You can print out as many copies as you want. And I highly encourage anyone who's experiencing that to write your story. Write it all out, 12 pages, 20 pages, 2 pages, doesn't matter. And then put it away somewhere. Because I think we hold on to our grief as part of holding on to our pet. And if you can get down your story and what you loved and what was special and that bond and put it somewhere safe, it's there. I won't ever forget. I can go read that anytime. Now let me focus on me because my pet does want me to heal and be happy again and love another animal again.
That's right. That's right. Everyone that with a beating heart, everyone here tuning in and watching that see and hear dogs, cats, birds, you name the companion animal, they make us better as human beings. And we're going to dive in on how we can grieve and heal with an expert, Erica Messer of Wolfie's Wish.